So we need right here to call the API to get our data, which will be API service.get user, and we need to supply an ID, then use the payload to set our state, this dot set state, and will be profile payload. We could extract this to have its own function, which is fetch profile, and we could have a constructor for initiating our state like this. And call this function from here. Let us fix the spacing. We need to have 4 spaces. To be consistent. So right now we need to provide this data to the enhanced my profile form. So we need to import enhanced my profile form and use it down here. And we need to pass the profile to this form, so that this profile would know what values should it fill the name and email fields. So we could have here a profile prop, which equals this dot state dot profile. Okay, great. There is something else. We shouldn't be rendering this form unless we are having a profile in our state. So at the beginning of rendering the component, this fetch profile it might not finish the API request. So there might be, for example, 300 milliseconds lag, and during this time we wouldn't have a profile. So we should tell React not to render this unless we have this dot state dot profile and okay. So now we want my profile component, which is the parent component, to know which ID to fetch for. So how could we do this? We could do this by connecting this component to Redux. So we could have here const map state to props equals a function that has a state argument and give us an ID prop, which is equal to state.id, and we should rename this component to any other name, so that we have const my profile, which would equal connect map state to props, and we wouldn't need to dispatch anything, so we could have this as a blank object and connect this component.